Have you ever wondered if air has weight? Even though we can't see it, air is always around us, filling the sky, moving the trees, and even helping us breathe. Air seems weightless because we can't hold it like a rock or a book. But what if I told you air is heavier than you think? Let's go on a journey to discover the secret weight of air and how it affects everything around us. Everything around us has weight, from the heaviest rock to the tiniest grain of sand. Even the air we breathe is made up of tiny molecules that add up to have mass. But unlike a rock or a book, air is spread out and invisible, so we don't notice its weight as easily. It's there, pressing all around us, even if we can't see it. Imagine holding two balloons, one empty and one filled with air. They may look the same, but the filled balloon is actually heavier because of the air inside. This happens because air, just like water or metal, is made of matter. And all matter, no matter how light, has weight. If we could gather all the air in a room and weigh it, we'd see that it's much heavier than we expect. Air isn't weightless. It just spreads everywhere. Now that we know air has weight, let's explore how it stays around us instead of floating away into space. Earth is wrapped in a giant, invisible blanket of air called the atmosphere. It stretches far above us, covering the entire planet. But if air has weight, why doesn't it just float away into space? The answer is gravity. Earth's gravity pulls air down, keeping it close to us. Think of it like stacking pillows. Air piles up on itself, with the air near the ground being squeezed by all the air above it. This is why the air around us feels normal. But as we go higher, like up a tall mountain, the air gets thinner. The atmosphere is about 100 kilometers, 62 miles, thick. That's a huge amount of air, pressing down on everything below. And because of this pressure, air can do some amazing things. Let's test its weight with a simple experiment. Even though air is invisible, we can prove it has weight. Let's do a simple experiment with a balloon and a scale. First, we place an empty balloon on a scale and note its weight. It's very light, but we can still measure it. Now, we blow air into the balloon, making it expand. But did you know we also added weight to it? When we put the inflated balloon back on the scale, the number goes up. That extra weight comes from the air inside. This proves that air has mass. Just like water or metal, it's just spread out and hard to see. Now that we've seen air's weight in action, let's find out exactly how much air weighs in the next section. We've seen that air has weight, but just how heavy is it? Let's break it down in a way that's easy to understand. If we take a small cube of air, about the size of a juice box, it doesn't seem heavy. But did you know that 1 liter of air weighs about 1.293 grams? That may not sound like much, but imagine all the air in a room. The air inside your bedroom weighs several kilograms, almost as much as a large watermelon. And if we go even bigger, the air above your head stretches all the way up to space. That's an enormous amount of air pushing down on us. This invisible weight is why air creates pressure. It presses against everything on Earth, from the ground to our bodies, even though we don't feel it directly. Now that we know air has weight and creates pressure, let's explore how air pressure affects the world around us. Since air has weight, it also creates pressure. This pressure pushes on everything around us, even if we don't notice it. Let's see air pressure in action. If we fill a glass with water and place a piece of cardboard on top, something surprising happens. When we flip the glass upside down, the water doesn't fall out. The cardboard stays in place, even though gravity is pulling the water down. This happens because the air pressing up on the cardboard is stronger than the weight of the water inside the glass. Air pressure wins. Air pressure is at work all the time, holding things together, helping us drink from straws, and even making weather happen. Now that we've seen how strong air pressure is, let's explore what happens when we go higher up, where there's less air. Air surrounds us everywhere, but what happens when we go higher, like climbing a tall mountain? Something interesting starts to change. As we climb up, there is less air above us. With less air, there's also less pressure pushing down. That's why mountain climbers feel different as they go higher. At sea level, air is dense and packed with oxygen, but high in the mountains, the air is thinner, making it harder to breathe because there's less oxygen available. That's why hikers and climbers carry oxygen tanks at extreme heights. The lack of air pressure can even make water boil at lower temperatures. Airplanes also experience this. At high altitudes, the air pressure is so low that passengers need pressurized cabins to breathe normally. Air pressure changes many things around us. Next, let's see how it helps planes fly, moves weather, and even creates wind. Air isn't just sitting still, it's always moving. From gentle breezes to powerful storms, air's weight and pressure help shape the world around us. Take airplanes, for example. Their wings are designed to take advantage of air pressure differences. This is what helps them lift off the ground and stay in the sky. Weather is also controlled by air pressure. When air moves from high-pressure areas to low-pressure areas, we get wind. The stronger the difference, the stronger the wind blows. Wind is a powerful force. It pushes clouds across the sky, shapes ocean waves, and even turns giant wind turbines to make electricity. Without air pressure, we wouldn't have wind, flight, or even the oxygen we need to breathe. Air is constantly working in ways we don't always see. Now that we know how air shapes our world, let's take a moment to appreciate this invisible but powerful force. Now that we know air has weight, pressure, and power, take a deep breath. That's the invisible force that keeps us alive. Air surrounds us, protects us, and shapes our world in ways we rarely think about. It helps planes fly, moves the weather, and even creates wind energy. So, the next time the wind brushes your face or you see a cloud drifting by, remember, you're feeling the weight of air in motion. Pretty amazing, right?